Hi, everybody. What a lot of cats. I wonder how many there are. Maybe you can help me count them. Let's see. I'm going to organize them first. I know that when I have a lot of something and I want to count, I have to organize them somehow, and sometimes putting them in groups, things in groups, or counting them in a row, that helps a lot. So I think I'll use a row with all these cats. I don't know if I've ever seen this many cats at one time. It's quite a lot of cats. How many do you think there are? Well, I still don't know how many cats there are, so I'm going to have to try something. Let's see, I think I'll use a line. I'll make a line, and then I'll count with this line. I'll make it a number line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You probably knew that there were 10 already. Because there are 10, let's use that today. So let's think about 10 today. Now we like 10. 10 can do lots of great things. Maybe these cats can help us think about 10. Now, one thing I know about cats is that some cats like to be in the house. And they like to find cozy places in the house. They like to find their food dish, like to find a place to sleep. Some cats like to be in the house a lot, but some cats prefer to be outside in the garden. So let's say this cat here decides to go outside into the garden. Now I had 10 cats in the house to start with, but there aren't 10 cats in the house anymore. I do have 10 cats altogether. Let's think about this for a moment. I have 9 cats in the house, and I have 1 cat in the garden. What I can say is that I have 9 in the house and 1 in the garden, but I still have 10 cats altogether. Okay. What if this cat decides to go outside too? Well, let's see what we have in the house now. We have 8 cats in the house and 2 cats in the garden. So I can say 8 in the house and 2 in the garden give me 10 cats. Another one wants to go out. Now I have how many in the house? I have 7 in the house, and in the garden I have 3. So I can say 7 in the house and 3 in the garden give me 10 altogether. This cat decides to join the others. Now what do I have? Well, I have 6 in the house and I have 4 in the garden. So I can say 6 in the house and 4 in the garden give me 10 cats. Oh, the next one's going to be interesting. What happens if this cat goes into the garden? Do you see something interesting? What do you see? I think I see the same thing. I see that there are 5 cats in the house and 5 in the garden. So it's an equal number in the house as in the garden. 5 and 5. 5 in the house and 5 in the garden give us 10 cats. Okay. Another one leaves the house, and now it's in the garden. Look what we have now. We have 4 in the house and 6 in the garden. So I can say 4 in the house and 6 in the garden give me 10 cats. This cat decides to move out into the garden. I look and I see 3 cats in the house, 7 cats in the garden. So 3 and 7 more give us 10. Another cat joins the garden cats. Now I have 2, just 2 in the house and 8 in the garden. So I can say 2 and 8 more give us 10 cats. You know what's going to happen next, right? This cat needs to join the other ones. Let's see how many we have now. Looks like we have just 1 in the house and many, many in the garden. So, looking at this, I see that I have just 1 in the house and 9 in the garden. So I have 10 cats altogether still. Now we can't leave that one cat all by itself. So there's one cat still in the house. Maybe it wakes up, stretches its legs, and makes its way to the garden to be with all the other cats. How many cats do we have altogether now? Now I see that we still have 10, and that's really, really great. Now, let's do something special now. What we should do is look at the numbers and the sums at the bottom here. They're quite special. There's some patterns in them. So if you could look down here, what do you see? What's interesting? Now there are a few things that I see that I like very much. So the first thing that I see is some patterns with the numbers going across. So if I look here with 9 and 1 making 10, I also see that 1 and 9 make 10. Now what's interesting to me is that the 9 is the first digit and the 1 is the second digit. And over here they're the opposite. 1 is the first digit and 9 is the second digit, but they still make 10. So maybe it doesn't matter which one's first and which one's second. What about the next one? Let's look at 8 and 2 making 10, and 2 and 8 making 10. Again, 8 is the first digit here, 2 is the second digit, but over here it's the opposite. 2 is the first digit and 8 is the second. So maybe they can trade places. What about the next one? 7 and 3 making 10, and 3 and 7 making 10. Again, 7 is the first digit, 3 is the second digit, and here it's the other way around. 3 is the first digit, and 7 is the second digit. What about 6 and 4? Well, let's look down here. 6 and 4 make 10, and 4 and 6 make 10. Again, 6 is the first digit, 4 is the second digit, the other way around, 4 is the first digit, 6 is the second digit. That's an interesting pattern. And what about the very last one? Well, that one's easy. 5 and 5 makes 10 because 5 can always trade places with 5. Now what else does this tell us? Well, let's think about something together here. So, I'm going to take the first one. I'm going to take 9 plus 1 equals 10. And I'm going to take its pair, 1 plus 9 equals 10. Again, think about what we just talked about, and let's see what kind of pattern we can find here. First thing I can see is that in this case, 9 is the first digit, and in this case, the second statement, 9 is the second digit. What if I look at the other way around? What if I look at the 1? 1 could be the second digit, or 1 could be the first digit. Either way, 9s can trade places as long as they're paired with 1s. If 9 is going to be the first digit, then 1 has to be the second digit. If 1 is the first digit, then 9 is the second digit. So they can trade places. So in all of these, I can see that things can trade places, the digits can trade places, just like the cats traded places. Maybe this was the first one. We had 9 in the house and 1 in the garden. In this case, it was 1 in the house and 9 in the garden. No matter what, we still had 10 cats. What a lot of good number work we've done. There's one last thing we should do. As much as I love math, I love drawing just as much. So I'm going to make a little drawing over here. Oh, a nice oval to start with, a helper line. I like to use shapes to help my drawing, so I'm going to use a couple of shapes here. Maybe a circle here, maybe a little line here and a line here. Oh, it's getting interesting already. What do you think it could be? Let's see, this will help. Ah, I'm starting to see something now. What are you seeing? I think what we need now are probably these. Don't you think? And maybe this as well. What are you seeing now? I think I'm almost done. There's one more thing that I think I need for my drawing. What do you know? What do you think is missing? I know what's missing. Whiskers.